if you've been fighting a slice all your life, go to multiple instructors and they all tell you you're coming over the top or outside in or swinging to the left for a right-hander. And you can maybe fix it a little bit on the driving range, but once you get to the golf course, you just fall back into the same old bad habits.
Yep.
What we're about to show you might change your golf game completely, because I believe that most people make these swing errors because of eyesight and perspective and optical illusions. And by the time you see this and understand it, I think it'll really help your game, and I think you'll be amazed at the concept.
I agree. He just showed me this a few minutes ago and it's just blown my mind. So
I am going to talk about today in my opinion, one of the most profound things that I've learned. I show it to hundreds of people a year, like I was telling you. And it's very rarely when somebody else appreciates this as much as I do, and how important it is. So for all of you out there, please pay attention to this video. It is really, really important, and in my opinion, it's something most of you've probably never seen before. You've never seen it before.
It just showed me this 2 minutes ago, and it's really interesting. I've never heard anyone talk about this before.
And for all of you that know that you come over the top in your golf swing, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, we're going to show it right-handed here, but I believe it's vision and perspective that causes a lot of swing flaws. And so if you're one of those that have an over-the-top swing and everything you try doesn't correct it, it's because you're fighting with your subconscious and your vision, and we're going to explain that really good here in just a minute. So as we're here, Patrick, if you can see very well here on the video, but if you stand on this target line, we're aiming right at that post way out on the range, and there's a big tree right behind it. And do all of those line up? Are they on the target line?
I can confirm these all are almost perfectly lined up towards that tree. It might not look like it from the camera, but if you stand right behind it, it is almost perfect.
That's correct. And so, but as Patrick has 7-iron here, I believe, is that right?
Yep.
So as he steps in with 7-iron and addresses the ball, and he looks at this first yellow alignment rod, is it lined up with the big tree out there in your mind?
It looks like it's 1 to 2 feet to the right.
Yes, and if you drew a line from there out, that would be maybe 15 yards to the right of that tree. Would you agree with that?
Maybe 20.
Maybe 20, all right? So I agree. But is it to the right of the tree?
It is not
actually lined up. It is not. If you get on the target line, it's straight.
Yeah.
And so what happens out there, folks, we pick out an intermediate target, and we get up to the ball, and that target doesn't look like where we're supposed to go, because it looks to you like you should go is right here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
If I line up and I try to pick a spot, I would say probably at least 2 feet to the left of this first yellow
That's
hole.
right. And if you hit a ball on that angle, if I put my hand right here and get behind the ball.
Oh, like this way?
Yeah. And if you hit the ball on that line and it went straight, where's it going to go?
20 yards to the left.
20 yards to the left. So people's swing paths go to the left because their vision tells them this is where that tree is, where that post is. But it's not there, it's here. And so the answer to this is to set this up yourself on a driving range. The closer this gets to you, the more it will feel like it's to the right. Because this last one out here doesn't look as far to the right to you, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yes. Now grab your driver, Patrick. And so that was with 7-iron. As his feet get even farther away from the target line with a longer club, now how far to the right does this look?
I mean, if I lined up from the ball to that pole, it would go 40 yards to the right.
But it wouldn't. This is your target. And so if you don't understand that, you'll always swing to the left with your path to try to make the ball go over here. And this isn't where we're aiming. We need to aim here.
Yeah.
So at home, if you'll go to your practice facility, take a couple of alignment sticks. I'm just using these green stakes because I thought with the dormant zoysia they'd show up on video better. I just usually use a couple of alignment sticks, and I'll put one here and another one about 10 feet, 10 yards maybe farther out there, and practice that way. So you need to get set up here. You need to have a target line on the ground so you get your stance correct, and then you've got to make the ball go to start over that yellow stick.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You could probably even do this in your backyard without hitting the ball.
Absolutely, you
just take
could.
a spot that's 200 yards out and just work on lining it up and then see what it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. I used to get out in the street and go down the curb and do the same thing
Absolutely.
too. But I can't tell you how profound this is. You guys have heard me talk how many lessons I've done and how many years I've been doing this. I am a firm believer that I think most people come over the top because of the poor perspective on the aiming, and because our eyes aren't on the target line, because they're to the side of the target line here, that perspective changes. And if you'll understand that and then practice, the tour players, a lot of them practice exactly like how I have this set up because they struggle with the same issues. And so everybody does that plays this game. That's one of our most popular comments is do something about alignment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alignment and slicing.
And slicing.
Those go hand in hand.
They do. And in my opinion, if you've tried and tried and tried, and you can't correct you may be able to correct it on the driving range, but once you get on the golf course, your over the top slice comes back, or pull hook from that over the top. It's because of vision and it's because of this perspective.
So when you're out on the golf course, how do you compensate for that in your brain? Because it's going to look a certain way. So do you have to mentally aim to the right to
Maybe
compensate?
at first, I think most people do have to mentally figure out how much to the right that is.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you'll practice on the range like this, what I found in my game, I can kind of see how these line up now when I take a stance, but I didn't at first. This was way to the right to me. One of the things that helps me is if I start from back here and I can see that line, then as I come in, I just can stay with my eyes on that line and I can make that yellow stick become closer to where it is. And so, but that's a great way to practice, is to set up 2 or 3 alignment sticks here out in front of you on a target line, and get used to seeing that that's straight.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you've struggled with this for years, when you do this for the first time, it'll freak you out, really.
Well,
it did you, right?
It
Just
did.
a few minutes.
What's so interesting to me is when I practice with my short clubs, wedges, my path can be to the right.
Right.
But as soon as I get to mid-iron, long iron, driver especially,
now you're past left.
it's going left 5-10 degrees sometimes, and it's like, and I don't think I'm consciously changing my path, but it might just be my eyes playing a trick on me.
It is, because this is an optical illusion.
It is,
That's what you said earlier. It is. And you have to understand that. And once you understand that, you'll be better. There was a great, one of the very first Nike commercials with Tiger was him hitting these windows in this building. Did everybody remember that? So, and then if you ever watched The Big Break years ago, they always had the basketball goal out there that they would aim at and break the window. So that's what tour players try to visualize, is this stick here that's on their target line looks to the right, but they're imagining there's a window here right above this stick that they're trying to start their ball. on. And so that's how I would recommend you to practice
Yeah.
with driver.
Absolutely.
And imagine this window here is you're setting up to the ball, and that's where you're trying to start it.
Okay.
And I think it'll help you.
All right, so I'm trying to hit that yellow pole is my goal right now.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
It feels to the right. That's so wild.
I know. And then from behind, I like players to look and see. Can you see? Did it start right of the
To me, that looks
post,
left of it, right?
A little bit left.
Just a little bit.
Sometimes if that's too close, you won't pick it up
Yeah.
fast enough with your eyes, so you might have to have the alignment stick where the first green stake is. But you can kind of look at both here. And
All right, so I'm gonna.
so you're just trying to, that's what you're evaluating is
Yeah.
what is your start line.
I'm gonna try to get it even to the right just a little bit to
Okay.
see if I can compensate to get it
All right.
there.
But you don't do it with your alignment and your stance. You
Right.
don't aim to the right.
Do I still?
You do it with your club path. So
To me,
you're fine
I
there.
look
You're
pretty good
fine.
there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I was starting to cheat a little.
I know, that's what happens. You'll end up aiming more and more right. That's not the solution to
Right.
this.
Yeah.
The solution is
it's
to still aim, be parallel to your
change
target
your
line,
swing
but
path
to
to-
change your path
Yeah.
to make the ball go there.
Yeah.
That's very important. Good, wasn't that good?
That was great. It still was even a little left of
I
the.
know,
of it,
but
though.
straight as an
Yeah.
arrow, huh?
That was a great shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'd
was.
be happy with that one.
I'm going to walk back here where I can watch
Yeah.
from behind.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you did.
Man, that's wild to me. It feels like I'm way aiming to the right to hit that thing.
I know. I'm glad you find this
I think this is
profound
fascinating.
because I do, but I show this to so many people, and like I said, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what difference does that make?
Yeah.
Keep swinging. So
That
that
was-
would have started 3 or 4 feet left.
I was
of
going to
that.
say that one clearly was left. It's faded back, which would
It
be
did.
fine, but
Uh-huh. Especially the way the wind's blowing today.
yeah.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
That was really a good swing.
I mean,
Wind's
I
blowing
take that all
way.
day.
That ended
That's-
up 15 feet right of that post. That's a
yeah,
good
that's
shot.
on the green if it's out
Uh-huh.
on the course.
Sports psychologists, will work with players and they'll talk about visualizing their shots.
Yes.
You hear that all the time.
Absolutely.
And what they mean by that, or what they should mean by that, is exactly what we're talking about. You have to learn to visualize where this starting window is, even trajectory-wise. If you wanted to hit it high, that window could be way up here. And if you want to hit a knockdown shot, that window could be here, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's what they're visualizing, is what is the correct start line or window for them to hit the shot they're trying to hit. And if they're trying to hit a fade, if they're right-handed, that window could be here, okay? And if they're trying to hit a hook, that window could be here. And if they're just trying to hit it straight, that window's right
Yeah.
over the stick.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Especially, I imagine with drivers where I'll notice it the most. 'Cause
It is, because you're the farthest away from
Yeah.
the target line, and that makes it even more to the right.
Yep.
And now you got a flat club, and when you're over the top with it, you're making a bigger mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all a vicious cycle. And it's all because our eyes and our brain don't reconcile this alignment.
Yeah.
So I know I'm over and over saying the same
No,
thing,
it's-
but you can't be told it too often.
I think
because
this is a big thing for me. Absolutely.
it is, and I've never seen anybody online talk about
I haven't
this.
either.
I'm
I've
sure
watched-
somebody in the comments will say they've seen it before,
I've
but
watched
that's
thousands
okay.
of golf videos.
I
I've
know.
never seen anyone talk about this.
I know.
So.
So pay attention to this. I promise you it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now I promise you if you've Those people that can't take it to the golf course, it's because their eyes are playing tricks with them.
Yeah.
And then they're always combating that in their subconscious and conscious minds.
Yeah.
I know that sounds deep.
No,
but,
it makes sense.
It's really the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you know why you swing more left with driver. It's two things. The shaft's flatter, so
Yeah.
if you're steep, makes a bigger mistake. But
That feels so to the right.
I
It's
know.
unbelievable.
But it's not. It's straight as an arrow. Good. Do it again. You started that one straight.
Yeah.
Yep. Faded a lot, but that's okay. Started straight.
So was that more just club face was a little
It
open?
was. Club was behind you.
A little bit behind.
Yeah. At impact, yeah. That's all right. Don't guide it there, swing it there,
Yeah.
okay? You're not trying to guide it over that stick, you're trying to swing at it. See, that's pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hit a couple more, that's pretty good. Keep swinging. You actually started that one a little to the right.
Did
of the
I?
stick.
That's what I was wondering. So the face is maybe a little open on those.
It
but
is, just a little.
That's, I mean, as long as the path, mostly the path one.
That would have been good path.
Yeah.
Yeah, do your takeaway correct too still, okay?
Yep. Was that a little?
It
this way?
was.
Okay. There we go.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Good shot.
That's a huge difference. That was
I
more or
know.
less exactly where I was aiming.
I
so
know.
Cool.
Good shot.
That's
All right.
awesome.
The other thing is this is a great way to work on hitting hooks on purpose and hitting fades on purpose. If you're going to start your ball over here to this side of the stick, well then it's going to have to work left to right to get back on target, right?
Yep.
And if I started over here on this side, then it's got to work right to left to end up at our target. And so those are great ways to practice hitting fades and draws on purpose, is having a straight line out here and try to hit right to left shots by starting it over here and hitting left to right shots by starting it over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll really, really, really help you. And there's so much of this that's the image that you have in your brain of what is correct or not. And like I said, I show this to lots of people, and most people look at me like I got, three eyes,
I think it's profound.
But I do too.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I've learned. I was at Pinehurst last year for PGA Magazine, had a teachers conference there, and that I was invited to with some of the best teachers in the country. And we spent a couple hours one afternoon on the range there at Pinehurst number 2 talking about these alignment sticks.
Yeah.
My buddy Lou Guzzi out of Philadelphia area was presenting and talking about this. Mike Velasco was there. And we all, when they realized and looked at this, and most of those instructors had never thought of this concept either. And so I found that interesting. And but I'll tell you, if you've never seen this before, try it. Put a couple of alignment sticks, get behind them, make sure they're lined up, and then set up to the ball, and it'll blow your mind.
Yeah, and I would encourage you, even if you're not in the situation where you can practice hitting balls, at least set it up, because just the way your brain sees it is really interesting. It blew me away when you first showed me this.
Yeah, it'll help your games. You'll hit better shots, especially if I see this all the time with players that play a lot of golf. They say, why can't I take it to the golf course? I on the range I can set alignment sticks down and I hit it pretty good. But when I go to the golf course, it all falls apart. Well, it all falls apart because what your brain and your eyes are telling you is not correct.
Yep.
That's not your starting line. And if you have an incorrect image of where to start the ball, it's going to influence how your body swings.
Sure.
And it's just that simple. The other thing I'll tell you is this. For a right-handed player, when I give putting lessons, to a right-handed player, even really good players, probably 9 out of 10 people aim the putter left of where they think they're going. What looks straight to them is left, and then they have a cut stroke. Okay? So if that's you, it's the same principle. The reason you're aiming left is because you're not over the target line with your feet, and the starting line to the hole looks to the left. It might only be an inch on a 10-foot putt.
Sure.
Here it's 20 yards with a driver, but it'll still be the same thing with the putter, and that's why they aim left with the putter. Is it's all perspective. Parallax error, it's called. And so pay attention to that as well. That's why putting on a chalk line or putting on a string line, using a line for your ball is so important. Putting, it goes putting, driver, 7-iron, it's all the same principle, and it's all the same issue.
That's one of the things that you taught me years ago. Every time I putt, I take the line on the ball and I line it up with my target, and then I've learned I need to just trust it, because I get over it, and if I make a little tweak because it feels off, it almost always misses in the direction exactly like you'd expect from this concept.
Yes, that's right. So it's a pretty big concept to grasp and to appreciate, and then it's pretty big to practice it. So hopefully we've given you that information, and give us some feedback after you try it. I think you'll be blown away. So try it, please. That's what I'd say. Try it. Hey, we got a shout out today for RevCore and Caddy Daddy.
Yeah, I've been using the same Callaway stand bag for 20 years, and it finally ripped.
Yeah, it has holes in it,
Convenient timing. They this company RevCore, they nicely reached out and sent us this bag to check out, and we're both pretty impressed by it. It's a leather cart bag. I don't know if it's real or synthetic, but it's really, really nice material, whatever it is. It's all kind of nice heavy duty rubber, and lots of good pockets for your valuables and all that stuff. It's even got one of those dedicated putter things, which I've always wanted that, because my putter always gets stuck in my bag. So
I've told you before that the standard for putter length's always been 36 inches.
That's right.
Because that's how tall the bags are.
And these are a little shorter.
But the average putter on the PGA Tour is probably 33 inches these days. And so most people are putting with putters that are too long for them.
Yeah.
And so yes, you could put your putter in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they were kind enough to send us this stuff. We met them at the PGA show down in Orlando. They got a really nice travel bag with the wheels, and this cart bag's awesome, and the duffel they sent.
Yeah.
And they got some interesting gloves called the Claw. And it has like a plastic material on the face of it. And you talk about a grip.
Grippy.
I mean,
it
is really, for somebody that's older, that has arthritis and has a hard time holding on to a golf club, this would really be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's almost like tape. Like it's got some great grips. I think I might get my dad to try some of these.
Yeah, you ought to. And then I certified to teach in PGA Hope, which is a national PGA program that was started here in the Gateway section in St. Louis, and helping our patriots everywhere is what Hope stands for.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. And so we work with a lot of disabled vets that want to play golf, and a lot of them have grip strength issues.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to show a couple of my guys this. They'll like it.
I think these are all machine washable too, so that's another nice thing, is if you're going through gloves that are dirty all the time, you can supposedly throw them in the wash and it turns out okay.
Good, cool. So thanks, RevCore, Caddy Daddy.
Yeah.
We appreciate this stuff. And
also, we'll have a link in the description. I think we save a little bit of money if anyone wants to try some of this stuff. So we're so far pretty impressed by it. We'll give you an update maybe in a couple months after we try it out and see how it holds up.
This is a big upgrade for you.
Yeah, it doesn't have a hole in it. That's a great one.
That's right.